say that. Gotta find myself.
Oh, right now.
I'm way past the point of actually having a midlife crisis, though, so that's not the case.
Well, that's a good thing.
That was when I turned 40 and got my first tattoo.
Right? I went with my kid on his 18th birthday. He's like, I said, what do you want for your 18th birthday? I want a tattoo, Mom. Okay, I'll go with you. Really? Heck yeah.
There I am.
Are you there?
I'm here. Wow, we already have a whole gob of people.
Really?
Hey, Ian. Hey, Eve. Hey, Dee.
All right, how come I'm not seeing
Miranda. Muriel. Holy cow, people.
Hold on.
Holy cow in a good way.
Yeah, don't make Gina have a cow today, please.
Oh, you know, let's just not go there. So for those that don't know, I am back on some medicine. I'm back on some medicine I haven't been on in a while. Getting sick in Phoenix kind of set back my asthma a little bit, and my doctor decided I should be on some maintenance medicine going forward, probably for the rest of my life, which I said, oh, crap. But I started taking it about a little less than 48 hours ago, and I've had a headache like every day after I've used the medication, which is normal for the first few days. So yeah, so I'm kind of off today. Although I've produced some really great artwork for the Explorations of Me prompts and the design team. So I don't know, maybe a headache helps. I don't know. Okay, we are going to do Ian's bird. Oops, I'm knocking things over. That's not helpful.
Hon, do you have it set switch just on you, the camera?
No.
No? You can.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yep. So it's not flipping back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to work on the current weekly art challenge photo, which is this bird's face, which is really cool. And I am not going to show you the Explorations of Me page that I did this morning, but all I can say is birds are a theme today. I don't know why. So we're going to work on him in my watercolor journal that we've been working in. And we're going to use one of the palettes that I got a hard time about last week that I haven't even cracked open yet. I just cracked it open today. This is the Van Gogh Pocket palette. It's got 12 colors in it. I really like this palette because instead of just like Chinese white and black, they did Payne's gray. I love that. And I think, in my opinion, Van Gogh is a decent student grade starter watercolor paint. They're pretty inexpensive. Hey, Mary. You can get this set on Amazon. Cindy has a link. It's like $28 and change if you have Amazon Prime. It does come with a small watercolor brush. This is a round number 6, and it has a like scraper tip on one end, and then it's a nice sharp point at the other end. I obviously haven't used it yet because I haven't used this kit. And it fits right in the lid, and the lid has nice mixing space. And this is a plastic kit, which I don't generally like because it stains pretty easy. They're not bad, but it's a nice size because it's not too big. I just did the color key literally a few minutes ago, and we're going to get started. Now, I will remind you all that I'm supposed to be teaching a travel art class at a local travel agency, Direct Travel, actually not local, they're worldwide, but at their local office here in San Jose. If you are one of the ones who live in the Bay Area and you want to come, you must make your reservations today. So if you want the copy of the flyer with the email on it, Cindy has it. You can private message her on Facebook or me, and one of us later or during the broadcast will send you the flyer which has the email on it. You have to make your email reservation today. Okay, let's get started, shall we? I've got a Derwent. You know, I'm having one of those days. I told you I had a headache. I'm going to put my glasses on. This is a turquoise green Derwent pencil. And I've got my picture over here propped up I hope that's okay for you guys and that you don't, I don't know, maybe I should put it up here to the side. Here's our monkey.
Sorry guys if I'm a little quiet today. It's been a funky day. Just a funky day.
It seems like a funky day all the way around.
It's just, I don't know. It's a weird day. And I don't know who bought.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Amy. Hi, Miranda.
Oh my gosh, Amy Shocker's here. Hey, girl.
Yes, she is.
She used to be my #1 fan. I don't know what happened to her. She left me, I think.
So for those of you, again, who haven't seen the photo, you can download this picture in the Weekly Art Challenge photo album over in My Year 2017. If you're not a member of that, it's a Facebook group. And if you're not a member of that Facebook group, you can request to join. But this is the photo here that we're going to work on. It's been a weird day. I'm telling you guys, I had a headache. Yeah, it's been an odd day. So anyway, I'm going to prop this up out of my way because it's the easiest for me. I know that means you guys can't see it, but sorry. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch my bird face with this turquoise pencil. Why turquoise? I don't know. Just because. No reason. Now, I don't mind the pencil lines. I think they add something to the finished piece. If the pencil lines bug you, then you probably, if you're going to do something like this, you probably want to use a water-soluble pencil. And there's all kinds of better ways to like do sketches where you like map out shapes, and I just go for it. In case you all didn't know that by now.
Gina, guess what I bought today just because I had a 50% off coupon?
Oh God, paint.
Actually, a watercolor tin. I got the Jane Davenport neutrals. I want to see what it was about. And since I had a 50% off coupon, I said, okay, I'll borrow it.
Well, I'm kind of, I obviously don't need more watercolors, but I'm glad you got it because you can tell me what you think.
I will.
I just, so many people have it, and it's, I really don't need any more watercolor though.
Yeah. No, you don't. You need watercolor about as much as I need paint.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Amy, I'm glad you're home and awake, but with 2 jobs, I'm tired for you.
That girl's always on the go. Always, always.
So I don't know if you guys can see, it's just a really rough sketch. It's not right. And my lines aren't perfect.
Can you bring it up?
And I'm not going to sketch. Can I what?
Bring it up toward the camera so they can see the lines.
It's not perfect.
There you go. All right. Now they can actually see it, just the outline of it.
Yeah. And so I like leaving the pencil lines in there. I think it adds to the finished piece, in my opinion. These are all my opinions. You don't have to agree with me. All right. So.
Sorry about my squeaky chair.
So I'm going to start, we're going to, of course, we always start light and work our way darker. We're going to start out with light colors and work our way darker and add interest to our bird. And I'm thinking I might want to like do some scratching into him too. Maybe we'll find out. So I'm going to add, look at how bright that yellow is. It is really bright.
Ian says to get some oil on it. I'm going to put a little bit, and then I'm going to add water.
You definitely could, you know, as always, I mean, I always do this. I'm always telling you guys you can do this. And there's a little bit of black stabilo in there, but that's fine. You know, when your painting is done, you can always, like with the monkey, I went back and highlighted some things with white gel pen. You could use oil pastels. You could use Sharpie markers, paint, acrylic paint. I'm using a filbert. This is a Princeton Select filbert number 10. And yes, my head still hurts a little bit, but it's the medication. I know it is because I've been on it before.
Can you take anything to help those, you know, that effect to you?
Yeah, but I just don't like to because, you know, I don't like medicine. I'm adding some red to our yellow to make a nice orange. This does have, now this is a basic 12 color set. So there's no oranges, there's no purple, there's no teal. So you have to mix colors. And I'm just using what I have already on the palette to make kind of an orange. I do think I'm going to add the other yellow, which is Azo Yellow Medium.
Now, are you going to stick strictly to this palette?
Sticking to a 12 color palette like this forces you to learn how to, not a bad thing to know when you're starting out with art. I know, right, Ian? The filbert is my favorite. If you told me you can only have one paintbrush, I wouldn't be around. It would be a filbert. I have to tell you guys, it's my favorite paintbrush.
Same here. And as Gina knows, so I also like to cut my paintbrushes to the size I want them.
She does. She actually trims the hairs on the paintbrush.
I like them a certain size, and they don't make that size.
So this is still a warm color that, you know, suggests sunlight and warmth, but it's a darker warm color, a cooler warm color. And, you know, obviously I'm not doing the bird in realistic colors like the picture because he's all in like browns and like cream and gray. But y'all didn't expect anything different from me, did you? It's just not happening. I think I'm going to take some of this Madder Lake Deep, which is a very kind of blue, purpley red. The other red that we use, the permanent red light, is more on the orangey side. You usually have a cool and a warm. So this would be the cool. The other one's the warm. So in your basic set, you have a cool and a warm yellow, a cool and a warm red, a cool and a warm blue, and green. For water-soluble oils, Ian, I like something short, like a filbert, or some kind of a short, flat, bristled brush. That's my preference, usually a filbert. I'm going to take some cerulean blue and mix it with this, what was it? Madder Lake Deep.
The D, have you found a big difference on your going from the cheap brushes to the more expensive ones? I bet you have.
I don't buy the cheap ones anymore because I get tired of the bristles falling out in my work. It's super annoying. So this is the purple I made by mixing the cerulean blue and the Madder Lake Deep. I keep forgetting what color that is.
It's all right. We'll forgive you, Gina.
It's just, you know, like I said, it's, you know, the first couple of days of being on the medication, my body is still getting used to it. It takes a good month with most of these maintenance medications before you're really used to being on them and over the side effects. So I'm probably going to be a little off for a while.
Yeah, the one that he just gave me today, he said it will take at least a month before I see any effects whatsoever from it.
Yeah, I did notice already right away that my breathing is better. So it's easier to breathe.
Ian wanted to know if you use sword or dagger brushes?
I do. I have them. I do use them, but my favorite is still the filbert. I do think that's because I'm just not used to using the dagger brushes. I do have some though. In fact, I think the ones I have are most of my brushes are Princeton. My two favorite brands are Princeton and Rosemary. I do have that one crazy $65 paintbrush that now I'm afraid to use. It's sitting up there. I never use it because it was so dang expensive.
Crazy girl, if you ever paid that much for a paintbrush, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, next time I'm gonna call you and have you talk me down off that ledge because that was just stupid. And I don't use it, so that's just even dumber.
Yeah. You call me, you decide you're gonna spend that much money on a paintbrush. I'll set you straight.
So look at how cute he looks, and we've only put a few colors. Look at that. So I'm going to let him dry a little bit, and we're going to come in to the background, and we're going to take some ultramarine deep, which is a great basic sky color. Usually when I do skies, whether I'm doing them in what I'm getting water everywhere. Whether I'm doing them in watercolor or acrylic, then I usually use ultramarine. Unless it's a stormy sky, then I'll add a little bit of purple. So we're going to lighten it with some Chinese white. What?
He's so cute.
He's cute, yeah. And this is what my white usually looks like fairly quickly. It usually gets really dirty when I have white in my palette. Now, if you were going to alter this palette and take one color out and replace it, I would say take the white out and replace it with the one color that you find yourself mixing all the time. So for everybody, it's going to be different. Start out with the palette the way it is. Paint some paintings with it. As you're painting, you'll find that you're mixing purple all the time, or you're trying to mix teal all the time. That's the one that you take the white out and you put that color in. Okay, so it's a she bird. So I'm lightening up the ultramarine and making it more opaque by adding the Chinese white, which isn't the same as a white gouache, but it is more opaque than some of the other colors. I should really put this back there because I'm getting blue everywhere.
Sorry.
Wow, that was loud.
I just shut it off. It was sitting right next to the computer is why.
That's okay. As Cindy knows, you all don't know, like 5 minutes literally before I turned on the go live button, all my devices were, everybody decided to message me. I don't know. So while the background is wet, I'm going to put some of the darker ultramarine in the water just to give it, a little bit of variation in tone so it doesn't look so flat.
Holy crap. Kathy Whitney, she said she got a new block catalog in the mail yesterday. I wonder if it's Blick. They had some $500 brushes.
Oh yeah, some of them are really expensive. And like I said, I do happen to own a really expensive paintbrush. It wasn't the smartest purchase I ever made by any stretch of the imagination.
That's just crazy. I don't know why anybody would spend that much on a brush.
Right? Well,
especially for what we do. I mean, we're not, professionals, I should say.
No, I mean, it's one thing if you're Van Gogh and, you're making a lot of money on your paintings, then you can afford to spend that much money. But I've said with a lot of things in life that even if I had money to buy brushes or $10,000 handbag, I still wouldn't do it because that's just ridiculous.
That's just crazy.
So I've been saying that for a long time. All right, let's see. Now where do I want to go? So I always start out with my lights and then I add my shadows and then I build on it that way. And then sometimes I go back and add more light at the end. I love that you guys are like answering everybody's question. Yeah, so everybody's you know, like been sick or just recovering, and that cold flu thing that Cindy and I both had, and I know a lot of you had too. It takes forever to get over. All right. I'm going to pull up some yellow ochre.
Yeah, that was really nasty. That stuff, I don't know what that was we got, but man, that was nasty.
I don't know either.
Poor Shannon. Now she feels guilty.
I know, right?
I tried to stay away from her. It just didn't work.
Well, at some point I knew I was getting sick, so there was no point in staying away from her. So I'm not really going to draw the feathers so much as just suggest the shapes, suggest some texture. I may scratch into the paint, but I might just take my filbert brush just with a tip, and I'm not, you know, really pushing hard on it at all, and just dragging it through. And creating some little suggestions of feathers. I have to tell you, these paints re-wet very nicely. They re-wet really nicely. There was no problem with it at all. I forgot to put his nostril in his beak. Oops. Well, let's just paint one in now. I don't know what kind of bird this is. Does anybody know? I'm not that great with birds. They're pretty and I like to paint them and all, but I'm not, you know, I don't like birds particularly. Did I say that out loud? So I have the Sennelier small pocket set. I also have the I have Schminky, and I have a few other brands. So we're going to be Peregrine Falcon. Okay, cool. We're going to be using some of them in upcoming art adventures. And I have one Winsor Newton Cotman set that I specifically use for when I'm doing mixed media with my watercolors. No, I don't use any of my favorite pans when I'm doing mixed media things because I don't want to take a chance of getting acrylic paint in the watercolor paint. But we will be doing some of that too coming up.
Touchdown inflatables. I agree with that.
Huh?
Talking about, there's a person on Touchdown Inflatables. And they said, if I ever have a brush that costs me that much, I think I would have to put it on a pedestal in a glass case. And I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Like, honestly, that's a lot of money to spend on a paint. I thought $65 was a lot.
The D is asking where your giant wheel set is.
My giant wheel set? Oh, the Robax palette?
The watercolors?
Yep. It lives at Cindy's house. That's the honest truth.
Yep.
It's too big for my room.
I got this great big box in the mail one day, and my husband says, he brings it in and he goes, "What did Gina send you?" I'm like, I don't know. Let's look.
It's too big for my room. I will tell you, I'm still a huge Robax fan, and if I should ever get a bigger art room, I will probably invest in another 1 or 2 large Robax palettes. But my little room is not big enough for them. You have to have a big table space for them. I am much happier, and it's much easier for me to do my paintings with these little palettes out on my table. So this color I'm adding now is Viridian, which is a green, a blue-green. I like the D. She says LOL.
Mm-hmm.
I also have the PBO. I do have the PBO round set. I do like a round palette. I do have the PBO set, and it's here in a corner. And I also have my DIY one that I did with all of my, who's it? Twinkling H2Os.
I agree, Kathy. That is a beautiful color. That blue-green that you've got on there. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
This is called Viridian. I have been for a while a big fan of the Van Gogh paints. My mixed palette has Van Gogh paints in it. Tube paints. They're a nice quality paint for the price. And I'm just looking at where the shadows are in the feathers, and I'm using the little bit of Viridian that's on the plate that's really watered out and light. And that's, the main way, for those of you who don't know, that you get a lighter color in watercolors, to add more water. Well, I like the Robax palette, the D. I like the Robax palette. It's a fabulous palette, wonderful invention. And if you have the space for it, I would, and you have a, decent sized collection of watercolor, I would definitely tell you to go get one. It's a great, I just don't have the room for it. I don't know what I was thinking. It took up my whole table. I mean, I had no room to put anything. I had to move things around to get it out on the table. So I'm going to take some of that Viridian, and we're going to add some of our ultramarine into it. There we go.
Ian's asking if Van Gogh painted in watercolors.
I don't know that he did, but I shouldn't say that. A lot of the artists did like study pieces in watercolor, and then they did their big paintings in oil. But you will find a lot of the masters had some sort of like little sketchbook or something that they did either just straight sketches in, or they colored them with watercolor, some kind of watercolor. Kathy, we're working with Van Gogh. So I took the Viridian and I just added a little bit of ultramarine to it, and look at the beautiful dark teal color we just got.
Well, these are interesting names for her neutral palette. Her neutral palette colors are mango, apple, blueberry, dove, unicorn, raven, cocoa, kiss kiss, spice, buff, sand, and vitamin C.
I was just going to say, you might want to tell people what you're looking at, because you said what you told me what you bought before we went live.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm looking, I actually had a 50% off coupon today, and when I went into Michael's, they had the neutrals of the Jane Davenport watercolors. So, 50% off, I had to have it. So, that's what the colors are. That's her color name.
I'm a bad influence on you.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'm right back at you, so. Gina and I should not go in an art store together.
No, we've done that. It's really dangerous.
It's not smart. Oh, you need one of those. I need one of those.
Yeah, it's always the first thing we want to do, though, when we see each other when we're on vacation, is go to the art store.
Exactly. So much fun, though.
Okay, so that was a really pretty color. Now I want to mix more of it. So I'm going to take some more of the green, the Viridian, which is already a blue-green. And then I'm going to add the ultramarine blue, which is really bright. And it doesn't take too much. And look at that gorgeous color that you get.
Okay, that's also interesting. The pans on this watercolor, the watercolor is already in the pan. Then she wraps it in a plastic, and then there's the color over top of that, just a piece of paper that's got her color on it. Those will have to go in my journal.
That's how a lot of the better paints, though, have their, you know, the better paints, usually each individual pan is all wrapped.
Yep, that's what this is. And like I said, all these little faces with the color, these will have to go in my journal. So we'll have to figure out.
No, I'm just using the you know, flat curved end of the brush, and I'm barely touching it to the paper. Now, don't go too far if you know that you're probably going to want to, you know, wash some of these marks out and make them more suggestive. Then don't go too far with the paint before you get it back in there with clean water. I always know when I'm having a good time with my painting and that it's going to be really interesting when I forget to look at the photo because I'm just having a fun time making marks. I shouldn't say that. It could go either way when that happens. It could really go to poop, but I'm having fun.
Does it have any codes on the packaging?
For the Jane Davenport?
Yeah. The only thing I see is the 2 numbers on it. I'll type them to you, Ian.
It might have the pigment numbers on there, Cindy. Does it have a light fastness rating?
Hold on. Now you're getting, let me look.
Now we're asking questions she doesn't know how to answer, see?
No, I can answer them if I can find the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I need a magnifying glass to read the bottom.
Yeah, welcome to my world. I need that for a lot of things.
Okay, it doesn't say anything there. Let's see what it says in the thing here. Okay, her little piece of paper that comes in there has absolutely no information on it other than the back. It's got a place to do your swatches of your colors. On the front, it's basically, hello, artist, enjoy. There's this number, Ian, and then there's another number. 1376365 3. Okay, those are the only 2 numbers that are on the package.
Oh, so the pigments are on her site. The pigments that they used in the palette, somebody is saying.
Oh, okay.
Some artists really like to use single pigment colors, and they only paint with light, fast colors. And there's nothing wrong with that. Most of the time, I'm working in a journal like this, and I just don't even look, to be honest with you.
Ah, Lisa works at Michael's. She knows all the answers.
That's why she knows that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And Kathy, yes, it must be that the writing is smaller and smaller. It can't possibly be that we're getting older and need glasses.
Exactly. That's like the dang dryer that keeps shrinking my jeans.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm grabbing some of the Payne's Gray. And for the moment, I'm going to keep it pretty watered down, pretty light. And I'm mixing it in with the blue and green that I had on here.
Lisa, when I went to Michael's back when we knew this was coming out, they had no clue who Jane Davenport was or what I was talking about. They had no idea. So it was just frustrating. The colors look pretty. I'm going to swatch them here in a minute.
Do you have any of the Prima watercolor sets, Cindy?
Huh?
Do you have any of the Prima watercolor sets?
I might. I can look.
Because if you do, that would be the one thing that's kept me kind of, you know, interested in acquiring or borrowing somebody's paints, because I have a lot of the Primas, and I was interested to see how close they were, because in the package, with the packaging and the color selections, they look very much like the Primas. And I guess Prima just came out with their light fastness ratings, and their paints are fairly light fast for the most part. So I heard a rumor.
Yeah, it says absolutely nothing about it on this packaging. They didn't have the other palette there. They only had the neutrals. And I'm actually kind of glad, because this is the one I would prefer over the two of them. So I'll have to play with them.
So now I'm starting with the cooler colors, the shadow colors, and I'm trying not to get distracted by what I'm doing and follow the suggestion of the photo. It's not really working, but cute regardless. So one thing about Michaels that some of you may or may not know is if you can get the item number of the product that you're looking for, that say one of the Jane Davenport watercolor kits, and we have a friend here, Lisa, who works at Michaels, hint, hint, then you can call the Michaels 800 number, and they can tell you what local stores have it in stock. And for those of you who were late and know that I am teaching at the local travel agency next week, if you are wanting to come to the class, you need to make reservations today. And if you need that email address or the copy of the flyer, we can get that to you. Private message Cindy or myself.
Hey, Lisa, do you know that 800 number off the top of your head? Just curious. All right, I got to get some water. And some paper.
Okay. I got one little, that doesn't need to be there. That's not good. Let's get rid of that. One little mark where I don't want it to be. There we go.
I got my art kit. I got my watercolor kit. I've got to get that set up one of these days. When I have nothing else.
Oh yeah, your art toolkit kit, right?
Yeah. Oh, she's in Canada, so her number's different than what we would have.
Well, maybe somebody out there owns the Jane Davenport kit and can send, give somebody the item number.
Well, I just put the two numbers on that are on the messages for Ian.
Some of the products may be on the Michaels website, even if you can't order them from their website, and it should have the item number on there. If it's on the website, the item number should be there.
Yes, I don't want to get up and go out in the kitchen, so I'm using my spray bottle to fill my little water brush pen here.
I've done that. Okay, so I do think it's time to refine some shadows and details by switching to a round brush. I could keep going with the Filbert, but I kind of want to try the brush that comes in the kit, which might be all poop. It might be a poopy brush, but we'll find out. We'll get it wet first. Holds a point nice. Sometimes when you get them wet, you get the round brush wet, and then the bristles just go. This
I like the sound effects, Gina.
You like that?
Kathy just said it's National Women's Equality Day, and hubby just saw it on the news. When I was at the doctor's office this morning, there was an older couple behind me, and they were talking about it. And the guy says, or the woman says, "Well, when is National Men's Day?" I'm like, "Every other day besides today." She starts laughing. She's like, "That's very true."
It is true.
I'm like, every other day. What the heck? Why won't this go in here? Maybe I'll screw it the other way. Aha.
So I have to tell you, this little round brush is not bad.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I like when the pocket kits come with a decent brush. Sometimes they have the little hole for a brush and then there's nothing in there. I don't see the point in that. Leave the hole out if you're not going to stick a brush in there. I don't think you can order the Jane Davenport stuff from Michael's online, at least not that I've seen. I think so far you have to go in the store. I don't know if that it might change in the future. I don't know, but
I think they're having such a hard time right now keeping up with the stock.
Yes, I agree.
That may be one of the reasons you can't order it online. Because they're having issues trying to keep up with everything.
So when you do these kind of suggestive paintings, whether it's an animal or a person or a flower, you just want to pick out a couple of features to really go to town on and emphasize. And then the rest of it should be a suggestion. Usually for me, like with an animal, it's usually the eye. In the case of this bird, the beak. And the rest of it can just be a suggestion.
Well, one thing I'll tell you is these are very, very pigmented watercolors. The colors are very bright.
Well, bright's good. I want to see what this Payne's Gray will do if I mix it with a Madder Lake. Ooh, that's pretty. Let's put a little more Payne's Gray in there, though. Yep. I'm getting this dark purple-y color. Okay, let's use it. Let's go to town.
Oh.
That brush works nice, but it's stained very easily.
But it's what?
Stained.
It's what?
It's stained. It's stained. The bristles, I rinsed it off, and usually with most brushes, most of the paint will come out. But look how dark the tip got. Huh. I'll have to get my brush soap out and see if it'll clean it. So for those that don't know, or you're new to my channel, I did not practice this before we went live. I get asked that more often than you'd think. No, I didn't practice this. It may turn out like poop, but I don't think it's going to. It's actually turning out kind of cute. But I don't practice these things before we go live. I sometimes decide 5 minutes before I go live what I'm painting.
She's telling you the truth. Because usually I'm on with her before we go live. So
yeah. And this morning there was just too much going on with my telephones and everything for me to even think about what I was going to paint. That was not happening.
crazy. These colors are very interesting.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back and do some more with some bright colors. We're going to take our warmer red, the permanent red,
Hmm.
And I don't think I'm going to put any yellow in it.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that.
What?
She liked my year 2017 video.
Oh, good. I hope you all are enjoying those videos.
Yeah, I had fun with that. I don't know, I might have to go. What's tomorrow? Thursday?
Thursday.
Friday. I gotta see what's going on. I might have to go live on Friday and show them where I'm at with my, the pages, because really think about it. I had to finish February and start March.
Yep.
And then I didn't show both. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to go live on Friday.
I try to, like, sometime at the end of the month do some kind of wrap up, like, to show you guys what my journal looks like.
Yeah, I'll have to do it. I'm actually very happy with this purchase.
The paint?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Very happy. Now I'm going to get out my Winsor Newton ones I just bought.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. She likes my bird. Yay. And what is Ian asking about? Oh, eBay. Oh, the Jane Davenport paints are going for $45 on eBay. Holy cow.
Are you serious?
That's what he just posted.
That's crazy, Ian. They're in the store they're $29.99. And I say that's too much, so like I said, I use the 50% off coupon. I will not pay that much money for a tin. I just bought the set of Winsor Newtons on Saturday because I was up at my local art store, and they were only $17, I think.
Which Winsor Newton ones?
The small 2, 4, 6, 8.
The
10,
little
12
small
color.
12 hand set?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that one. Actually, that's my favorite teeny tiny brush, is the little tiny silver one that comes in the Winsor Newton Cotman set.
Exactly. Oh, cool. I like that brush. That's cool.
Okay, this is one cute bird.
He's adorable. Well, Ian says it has to be a she.
Oh, she. I'm sorry. And I'm almost ready to stop, I think, because this is, I don't want to, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Open up the eye a bit. And we're going to, of course, give it a pop.
Now, Gina, do you take your plate and just clean it all off, or will you leave that there and use it on another one, on another painting?
It depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes I just go wash it off because there's actually not that much paint on there. Sometimes I wash it off with a baby wipe and then I hang the baby wipe up to dry.
Okay.
And then you can use the baby wipe on other projects. But honestly, I've been like saving like paint on scrap paper and in journals for a long time. And at some point I have to stop doing that because now I have too much of that painty paper. So one way to give them a pop is to add some really dark, like pure pigment of the Payne's gray without hardly any water. So you get this really dark blue, black color.
I love the fact that you can take a picture, an inspiration picture, and totally make it work in totally different colors.
Yeah, so there's a little story behind that. Let me get out my white. I might want the paint pen. I don't know. So when I first started painting and decided I wanted to paint, and I took my first proper figure painting class with Pauline Agnew, we were painting people. I really had a hard time painting in flesh tone. struggled with the whole idea of mixing proper flesh tones, of using them properly, having them not come out too pink. It just was really difficult for me, and I just wasn't making me happy. So I started painting in funky colors, and immediately after I did the first one, I realized, okay, this makes me happy. And I had another teacher who said to me, when I was working on a project and I was in the midst of this switch over, and I said, you know, I've got this weird pink color, I've got these flesh tones. And I said, but this makes me happy. She said, so then do that. Paint in either warm or cool colors instead of, you know. And she's held up this tube of pink paint. And she says, you know what we call this in art school, don't you? I said, no. She said, pardon my language, all of you out there who are sensitive. She says, we call it penis pink.
Yeah.
She said, we never use that on faces, so just get rid of that one. So I haven't really gone, I can do them in flesh tones now, but it's still not my thing. I would rather paint this way. This is more fun.
It's just cool that you can do that. I'd really have to, I don't know. I'd have to work.
So this is a white gel pen. I did get out a Molotow marker just in case I decide I want to use that, but probably not. But yeah, so that's my little story about painting in non-realistic colors. And the first painting I did that way was one of my Uncle Aldo that's been online. He's actually gone on to his forever home, but the painting has been online, and I did his whole face without any flesh tones. Reds, blues, Payne's gray, and it turned out fabulous. Looked just like him. He has since passed away. But yeah, it's a great painting. So I'm just adding little marks and highlights with the gel pen. And this is something I carry in my kit with me. I carry a gel pen with me.
Kathy says to take your all your baby wipes and sew them all together for a book. And she says it sews real easily, which I bet it would.
No, they do. And Jelly Arts a while back took a bunch of baby wipes from jelly plating, and they stamped on them and then cut them up and made them into fabric that they then made a pencil pouch out of. And cool. That's on the Jelly Arts channel, YouTube channel. So yeah, Ian, you could definitely, I mean, you could go as far with this as you want. And if doing line work makes you happy, you could definitely do that. You all know me, I'm going to keep it loose and suggestive, but definitely I could see this with maybe just a few black lines here and there, something really sketchy and suggestive. This makes me happy. Trying to copy a photograph, that's why we have cameras. That just doesn't make me happy. It never comes out the way I want. So I just don't try anymore, to be honest with you. The eye is not exactly like in the photograph, but I love the way it turned out, so we're gonna keep it. You can go back in with some of the white gouache, well, if you can get it clean. Mine is dirty now, or white, Chinese white in this case. I gotta clean it off first. It's got blue in it. And Jean Haynes does this. She says, don't be afraid of the white. A lot of watercolorists, you know, act like it's a sin to put white in there after you're done, but it's a load of crap. Do what makes you happy. And if you don't know who Jean Haynes is, oh my God, go look her up. She's fabulous. And just these little touches of white and dark Payne's gray or dark black pen, they make a big difference in your painting. Yeah, Ian, I've seen some of your artwork. It's really, really nice. And Kathy, I'm so glad, because I think that I'm probably insane. So I'm glad somebody gets me.
You're not any more insane than the rest of us are.
Oh, well, I don't know if that makes me happy or scares me.
Should make you happy. You know you're with your own crowd.
There you go. Yeah, it does. So I generally prefer watercolor over gouache. I have been asked that in the past. So that being said, I like to have Chinese white in my palette rather than a white gouache because I like the layering of the transparent colors in my paintings. That's one of the things I like about watercolor. And I'm barely touching.
Go ahead.
I'm barely touching my brush to the paper, so I'm getting these little white like marks on the painting that are just adding. It's going to dry pretty transparent, but it's going to add just a little pop.
I think you need to write to all your watercolor companies and tell them they need to have a little palette thingy on the top of their lid so that we can swatch out their paints instead of having to make our own.
Yeah, so some of the companies are getting smart, like Prima, and they put a little card in the lid.
Yeah.
But they don't all do that, which I don't understand.
That is beautiful.
You can do these little like marks with the white gel pen or a white pencil or both. I mean, I wouldn't, why limit yourself? And if you're adding to your supply of like brushes and things, you really only need, like, we're talking about watercolor specifically, a filbert and a round. If you need a second one, you can do a lot with these two brushes. I think we're at a stopping point. I think I need to stop before I mess it up. I do want to kind of see if we can get the staining off of this because that's kind of icky. Where's my... So this is Da Vinci brand. It's actually brush cleaning soap. I do use Murphy's Oil soap on my brushes, and it works great. I got this to try, and I haven't tried it yet, so we'll try it. But Murphy's Oil soap works just fine in it because it's a natural oil-based product. It conditions the bristles of your brushes. So let's... Oh yeah, look at that. Look at all that paint that came off. So that works great. I'm not looking at the chat yet. Hang on, you guys.
Lisa says that she, Ian says he wonders if a bit of splat may work with this.
See, look, came all off. It probably would. You probably could do some splattering. I don't really want to because I really like the way it looks, but you probably could do some splattering. And what I would do is when you're first getting started, like with the yellows and the oranges, I would probably do some splattering with those colors before I went too far with painting the bird's face in. If you wanted to do it now, I would cover up, you know, like the parts of the painting you don't want splatters on with a piece of scrap paper and then do your splattering and then lift them up.
And then Lisa says she's got her bird and her monkey sketched out, but she hasn't decided what medium she wants to use to do them.
Well, that's always the decision, right? Especially for us mixed media artists. The thing you want to remember is why limit yourself to one. So you could start off with a pencil sketch and then put watercolor and then add pen or acrylic paint. You don't have to just use one medium. We're mixed media artists.
Very true.
So there's no reason to limit yourself. So yeah, the dagger or sword brush, I think the why I haven't used them yet is just because I haven't had them long. But for those of you wondering, that's a triangle brush. I was going to see if I could find one really quick in my 5 million brushes. And most of you have not been to my art room. Someday Cindy's going to come, and then afterwards she's going to go, oh, holy crap, you guys need to see how many brushes she has. That's not something I share. But I have
and when I'm going to go there, I'll probably go with an empty suitcase, knowing Gina.
Yeah, so I can't find my dagger brush, but I do have a pointed filbert, which is interesting. This is Princeton. This is the Rosemary and Company brush. It's their triangular brush. I mean, this is a new one. This is the backup brush.
Do you find yourself always going to the same brushes?
Yes. Like you buy all these fancy brushes because you think, oh, that's cool, and then you don't use them. Here we go. So this is a Princeton Neptune. I like Princeton brushes. My brushes, for the most part, are Princeton, either Select or Neptune. This is a Neptune, which is made for watercolor paint. A dagger brush is a flat that has a pointed tip. This is a large one, so the tip doesn't come to as much of a point as some of the others. But there you go. I just got it wet, so it looks a little bit less. When I do use it, I use it for washes, for, you know, washing the whole background with a layer of color. But yeah, I have a lot of brushes. Now, my acrylic brushes, I also have a lot of. That is for actually a practical reason, because I'm really hard on my acrylic brushes. And yeah, I'm really, really hard on them. I haven't bought a new brush though in a long time, because I really don't need to. I have a big backup supply. Yeah, it's a really big dagger brush. I hit a sale at a local Aaron Brothers Art and Framing, which is a subsidiary of Michaels. At least in the US it is. And they frequently have brushes where it's like buy two, get one free, or buy one, get two free. Or buy one, get one free. They have like sales all the time. And that's the way to buy some of these brushes, the lesser expensive but better brands, when you need to stock up on brushes or replace brushes. I also have a habit of keeping brushes that are probably past it, because they're all, you know, they don't like come to a point anymore. Like this one doesn't really. But, you know, I can use it for something. Unless the bristles are falling out, I don't get rid of them. If you're deemed normal, someone take me to the ER. Something's wrong. Amy, I'm right there with you. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with leaving it a sketch, but you guys shouldn't be too hard on yourselves. And, you know, think that you have to just stick with one medium, because you don't. Yeah, so when you're buying either online or in person, and you need to update your brushes, replace brushes because the bristles are falling out. If you're like me, I've picked up a couple recently, and the whole ferrule and everything just came right off. That's usually when I replace them. Then I replace the brush. But I usually use them until, you know, well past the point where most people would not use them anymore. But yeah, always look for a sale. That's how I get my paper too, is I buy it on sale. I have to tell you, this little brush cleaner soap thing is nice. You just roll it around in the soap. It takes all the paint off. It's damp. And then rinse it off. Nice and clean.
What's the name of that?
It's
Gina?
Da Vinci cleaning soap for brushes. And it comes in this little round tin like this. And it's citrusy. Sodium palmate, sodium palm kernelate, aqua, that's water, right? Glycerin, sodium chloride, parfum, and sodium EDTA, made in Germany. 85 grams.
Is it expensive?
I honestly don't remember. Can somebody like look it up real quick on Amazon? I did get it in Amazon, which is where I get a lot of stuff. I don't think so. But then again, your brushes, you know, you want to get the most use out of them, right? So I would recommend definitely either using something like this or Murphy's oil soap, which for some of you might be cheaper, unless you're not in the US and can't get Murphy's oil soap, then this might be cheaper. But you want to use something nice to clean your brushes that has some kind of oily conditioner for your brushes in it. Yeah, you can use a bar. I've heard that, Ian. You can put like a bar of soap in some kind of container to keep in your art room and then rub your brush around on that and rinse it off. I would probably stick with a soap that's like more natural, that like ivory. This one has a lot of chemicals in it. Maybe something with an oil in it so that it conditions your bristles, whether they're synthetic or natural. You want to like condition the fibers so they don't get too brittle. I like Murphy's oil soap. That's what I usually do. Yeah, Master's Touch soap I've used in the past. And then I ran out one day and started using Murphy's and never looked back.
I find that the Da Vinci Cosmetics Series brush cleaning soap, it's only $11.99. But I'm not seeing the artists.
I think this is just a regular cleaning soap for brushes. I don't think it's anything special, Cindy.
Oh, because this says it's a Cosmetics Series brush cleaning soap for $11.99.
Oh, for their makeup brushes, because they do make makeup brushes.
Yep.
Is it in a tin like this? Does it look like this?
Yep. Yep.
I think it's the same thing.
Well, it's only $11.99, so it's not expensive.
No, it's not expensive. And this one tin is probably going to last you a long time because you don't need too much. And I don't know about you guys, but I wish I had my dream. Okay, my dream studio has a big sink in it and a countertop with a couple of plugs so I can have my drill press and my toaster oven. But anyway, I don't have that. And so it's a drag having to go out to the garage all the time to clean my brushes. And when you have something like this that you can just rub your brush around in, clean it, rinse it off in your pot of water, and not have to make all those 5 million trips to the garage, that's handy. Yeah, I would think any shampoo or soap intended for hair would work. You probably could use like baby shampoo. Yeah, mane and tail might be good. You want to use something with like a conditioning or oil treatment in it. Don't use anything that's going to dry the hair out because you don't want to dry out the hair and the bristles. Whether they're synthetic or not, just think of them as hair. And then you want to keep them conditioned to keep them in their best shape as long as possible.
I just bought, hang on a second, let me grab it.
So my initial impressions of this little Van Gogh kit is positive. I like it. And it's a nice kit. If you wanted to add more colors to it without taking any out, you probably could use the mixing wells to squeeze a little tube of something into.
All right, I just bought a brush shaper. It's supposed to be a brush restoration because you know how when you use brushes after a while, they'll get like these little odd hairs that hang out here and there and then they screw everything up?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the channel over to you.
Oh no!
I want to see what you're showing.
Oh, that's fine.
Right.
Okay. Hi guys, can you see me? All right. I can't see myself, which is kind of weird. This is what I bought. It's called Brush Shaper, and it's a restoration, supposedly, of your brushes, and it's made by Speedball. And it's a liquid. I can't turn it over. It's very liquidy, okay? Supposedly, you're supposed to pick a brush that looks like this, and you're supposed to dip it in this stuff and let it dry out. And then it's supposed to make it look like brand new. Notice I keep saying supposed to. I've done it on a few brushes. Yeah, it brings a couple of the bristles into line, but does it really? No. So don't waste your money, is my opinion on this. The other thing is these are the Jane Davenports that I purchased. Let me get that little, that's mine. These are the Jane Davenport, and this is her neutral set. It's the one that comes in the gold tin. And here are the colors. Sorry, I'm shaking. That's the inhaler doing it to me.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love the colors.
So with some of your brushes that the bristles are splayed, or as I say,
yes.
especially if they're synthetic, you should be able to dip them for a few seconds in really hot water and then reform the bristles and let it cool off and dry. And that will basically melt the bristle a little bit and let you reform it back into the right shape.
Really?
Yeah, I've actually done that. It doesn't always work great with natural hair brushes, but I would try that before you do anything fancy because that's cheap and free.
Okay. I will try that because this stuff, I thought, all right, I have no problem doing it. And it's really liquidy. It's almost like a 1% milk.
Yeah,
Probably
some sort of sizing.
It says, preserve the life of your brushes, coat your brush with brush shaper, set it aside to dry, and rinse before use. But it says it's used for, when they say preserve your brush, to me that means different than restoring your brush, which this says brush restoration. So, yeah.
Okay, so I want to say, first of all, if you guys hear talking in the background, it's the answering machine on the landline in the other room because Red Cross just will not give up and they want my blood. Muriel, have a good evening. Get some rest. I don't know what time that is in my time, but that sounds like really late. You need to go to sleep.
Well, let's see, 23, 22, 21. I don't know. I can't think.
Kathy,
birdie,
I don't know now. I like it now. I want to keep it now that I tried it. See, that's the problem. And
your birdie.
Yeah, it's back to the bird. And so then we're having a question about the prayer flag video that went up today. So finally, I know everybody wanted to see videos on how I made that prayer flag. And so you're asking about one of the fabrics. Let me see. Cheesecloth. Yes, it was cheesecloth. So I have a little bit of a stash of distressed fabrics that I got wet with water and vinegar, and then I wrapped things from nature up in them and like old kitchen utensils and SOS pads, and then wrapped them up really tight, tied them with string, and put them in a Ziploc bag and left it out in the sun for like 3 days. And it got rusty and, grungy. And so some of the cheesecloth I did that with is what I used in the prayer flags.
That'd be nice if we had sun around here.
Yeah, we have sun, but it's not warm. It's cold outside. For California, it's cold.
What is your cold? What are you running temperature right now?
We're right this second, I don't know, but our lows are not about the mid 40s. It's for the rest of the country, it's not that cold.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Ian, to for those of you who didn't see, he said that it's a good idea to wet the brush and wrap it in paper very well and leave it to dry flat. Yeah, you don't want to dry your brushes.
I don't ever dry them on the tips.
You don't want to dry them standing up in a cup this way because all the water will run back into the ferrule and loosen the glue. Guess how I know that? In my old studio room, now I had what I thought was a great way to dry brushes because I had a little shelf over the sink, and I would take bulldog clips, binder clips, And I could put some brushes like this on a clip, and then I had little hooks, and I could hang them to dry, and they drip dried upside down. Here in the studio, I clean them and lay them out on a cookie sheet flat, which will work, but you definitely don't want to dry them this way.
Yeah, I usually, I don't even know the name of it. I'd have to go out in the kitchen and get it. It's you can find it in any of the art stores. It's in the yellow, a small yellow bucket, and you wash your brushes in it like you did that Da Vinci stuff. And then after that, you wash them. I usually use that. Then I wash my brushes, and then I'll just lay them on a towel to dry.
Yeah. Now,
but I can't think of the name of that stuff in the little yellow container. I don't know. I'd have to go look at it.
The other thing to remember too, if you're looking for like travel brushes or brushes to make interesting marks on your work, you don't have to spend a lot of money. These are from Target. This is a mascara thing, eyebrow thing. Like it would make interesting marks on the paint. It's just a spoolie. And then these are makeup brushes. These are portable makeup brushes, and they would be great for a travel kit. They are nice little round, for the most part, lip brushes, but some of them are eyeshadow brushes. And, you know, they're not the, perfect long shape, but you could do quick little paintings with these, and the tips are really interesting. And they all have nice covers. They fold up really well. Well, except this one. This one I have issues with, but not the brush itself, but the container. But they're all interesting, sort of small, round. This one and this one are sort of small, teeny filbert shapes. This one is like a round shape. And they would make interesting travel brushes. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can get something like this and try it. Sometimes you can find things like this at the dollar store. You just want to make sure, like, buy one and try it, and then if you like it and the bristles don't fall out, then go buy another one. But I would not buy more than one until you know the bristles aren't going to fall out.
Take care, Dee.
See you later, Dee. Bristle Magic Brush Cleaner and Conditioner. Oh, nice, Lisa. That's good to know. All right, so this is our bird painting for today, to go with Ian's weekly art challenge over in My Year 2017. If you're not part of the group and you want to be, all of the links for that, along with my address for Happy Mail, the address to my Etsy shop, my email address, all of that stuff is in the description. I forgot what I was going to say. My brain is blank. See, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to attend the travel art class that's scheduled for next week on Tuesday, the 14th at 6 to 8 p.m. here in San Jose, let me know. PM me. I'll send you the flyer and email address, or PM Cindy. She's got it too. You have to make your reservations today. Today. All right. That's it for right now. I'm going to go have some lunch now. I'm hungry. I think I need something besides a protein bar. That might help my headache. Thank you, Mary. So this is our bird. See what you can do with the bird. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to post this online later. I'll make sure to take pictures. And I've got one more design team video to do today, and then I'm done. All right. I will see you all later. We will be back next Wednesday for sure for live. Maybe Monday. I don't know. I'll let you know over the weekend. And the last week of March, I'm not counting on being able to do any live. I have a jury duty notice, so I won't know until the last minute if I can be live or not.
Take care, everybody. If you have any questions, definitely let us know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.